So you got lesson number 12 on your screen there, no?
Yes.
Okay, good. So you must just indicate, then we can start, inshallah.
Yes, you can start, Imam.
Anyway, okay, shukran. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين سبحانك اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Alhamdulillah, thumma alhamdulillah, all praises are due to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who granted us, alhamdulillah, this opportunity once again. It's just apologies, for the late start, but as we unfortunately have the situation where it's beyond our control, and inshallah we'll try and do justice to the hour, and try and squeeze everything in, because as we know, it's also a bit late, for us to, to concentrate for so long. So inshallah, may Allah make it easy. And I think the class has now reached a certain level, which I feel, and I think you will obviously also realize that we've reached quite a very reasonable level now, that I don't need to maybe go so far back in trying to do revision to maybe just give us an understanding. Because if you look at lesson number 12, which in your books, is page number 42, you'll actually find there that, alhamdulillah, we are now looking at Dars, or lesson number 12, and the heading there reads the Al-Jumlatul Ismiya, okay? And as you can see there, meaning the nominal sentence, okay? And the nominal sentence obviously refer to the noun sentence. And this is important, as we can see in the columns that I indicate here with a marker. You'll see there that this indicates to us the three different phases that we had actually, discussed, or the two, and this is the new one there, which is going to be our lesson for this evening. So alhamdulillah, let me just read us the introduction here, that the nominal sentence consists, this is important, of a mubtada. Mubtada means the subject, and a khabar, which is the predicate, okay? And it is called a nominal sentence because it always begins with a noun. And that's very, very important for us to realize. So a nominal sentence is a sentence that starts with a noun, and you'll find there is a hidden verb in there. The verb is hidden in there, as we will come to understand, when it comes especially to our translations from Arabic into English, okay? So that is important. So when we're looking at a nominal sentence, we'll obviously find that there are two important things that you will detect there. You'll find that there is a subject, something that's being mentioned, a noun. And then that is, like we would say, the mubtada, and the khabar. The khabar means the predicate, that what is actually told about the other. Because, and this is important for us to realize here, because you're going to find that when we did our phrases, when we did the phrases, we had a noun, as we have in example column here, number 1 here, the indefinite adjectival phrase, okay? And what was that? What that was the indefiniteness is indicated by the noun here, darsun, remember, indefinite, meaning a, right? Indefinite, and sa'bun, meaning difficult. That is obviously, a new word that we're learning on this evening. Darsun, we know, is a lesson. So we can see this was an adjectival phrase, meaning we have a noun and we have an adjective qualifying the noun. Very, very important. Okay, so that is what we have done. We are fully, we fully understand that, and I'm sure because we had numerous lessons and examples on that particular one. Then number 2, we have where we had a adjectival phrase, which we did last week, but now we refer to it as definite, as we know, when it comes to something being definite, that we will add the alamu ta'rif, meaning the lam of definiteness, which is the al, right? There you have darsun. Remember darsun? Here we can see we added al on there, so it's ad darsu. Obviously, as we can see there, the dal, meaning with the mushadda there, we're looking at the letters of the sun, you know? Letters of the sun and the moon. Remember, you don't say al darsu, you say ad darsu, okay? And then we find that the sifa, meaning the adjective describing, you know, the definite noun, is on the same pattern as the noun. We'll see there that the sifa in this particular sa'abun there becomes al or as-sabbu, as-sabbu. Okay, even though, as I said to us, they indicate the sukoon on the lam there, but you see the sad has got the mushadda, and obviously, as we know, even in reading, when you have a sukoon, right, a sukoon, and the letter following that is like got a shadda, then you eliminate or you bypass the sukoon and you take, you know, the letter straight into the harf which has the mushadda on there. So therefore, you say ad-darsu. You say ad-darsu sa'bu, meaning the difficult lesson, as we can see there, as we know we did last week. Because of it being definite, you no longer have a tanween at the back, but you only have the single u sound. Tonight's lesson is a difference, and this is where you will easily be able to detect it. And that is where you find in a nominal sentence, you have a definite word here, ad-darsu, but then you see the letter also sa'bun can in the two previous instances, sa'bu was used or became, I should say, as a sifa to the mawsuf, meaning it became an adjective because of it having or being in two different formations, as we can see here. Now, if you can see here in the two different cases we have here, we find, you know, that ad-darsu and sa'bun. See the sa'bun, which means the one is definite and the other one is indefinite. Can we see there? And because of that, we find this is where you will find your description or your details with regards to a nominal sentence where you find the one is definite and the other one is indefinite. Can we see there? And therefore, this now refers to ad-darsu being your mubtada, your subject, meaning that is the noun, and sa'bun becomes the predicate, we say the khabar. And as I say, you will be able to detect it because it does not agree. It importantly, very, very important, it must agree in gender. It must agree in gender. So if ad-darsu is masculine, then sa'bun must also be masculine. But it does not agree in the structure, being the one al and the other one in indefinite form. Okay? So inshallah, I hope, you know, we understand that. So we'll just go through our explanation here, which therefore reads that the first example is an indefinite adjectival phrase where I explain to us where the adjective agrees with the noun, it describes in gender, you know, whatever, sorry, it describes in gender, which means that we are done, we understand that. The second one also, where we say the one is again, like we find with the al, which is definite. But if we now go further and we look at number 3, in number 3 we read there, the last example is a nominal sentence, being its noun ad-darsu, which is the mubtada, as we say, the subject is definite, and the khabar, the predicate, is indefinite. So that is your formation or your structure of a nominal sentence. So we can see that is a sentence because if you look at the description here, we say the lesson is difficult. So if we can recall Brother Walid's question last week, you know, where I said, you know, even though we would say yes, it means that, but we shouldn't sort of, you know, take it as a proper explanation. The reason being the fact that, as you can see here, can we find that sa'bun in this particular case doesn't, or you can't translate it as a as a difficult, not the less. Remember, I think, and that is important. So now what happens here is when you do your translation from Arabic into English, we will see it becomes we will say we add in ease, ease, or obviously or when, when it comes to proper English. So in this case, the lesson is difficult. And we probably, when you look at plural, you'll say, oh, okay. So here we can see that the lesson is difficult. So sa'abun in this particular instance, because the khabar, meaning the object, you will now, or we say you will, or the predicate, you will now translate it as being is difficult, where in this particular case you said meaning a difficult. And we see there what I'm trying to say. So this is where we find this explanation in number 3, making it clear to us. Therefore, it ends in a dommatain. The predicate must agree, importantly, as we mentioned, with its subject in gender, but will al. If it takes the al, then it will change to be change the nominal sentence into an adjectival phrase, as happened. Second example. Okay. Can we maybe just hear from the students if everybody's comfortable with that? Anybody comfortable with that? Yusuf, can we just hear? Is everybody comfortable with that?
Yeah. Yes, Imam.
Shukran. Okay, fine. Now we go further. So let us just maybe open, inshallah, those who want to unmute themselves, participate, let us just look at the formation of the sentence. So we can see there we have here ash-shari'u. See? Ash-shari'u. You can never say ash-shari'un. Remember why? Because we're having an indefinite thing here. You know what I mean? Ma'af, we're having a definite al here. So there'll always be ash-shari'u due to the al. Then when we say wasikhun, which is now an indefinite word to us, but when you translate it, it now becomes ease. You put in ease there, we put ease in there, and that ease can sort of basically serve as the hidden verb in there. Okay, so you're going to look at ease, and therefore we see here. Just look at this in the at explanation number 4. The verbs, see, the is and are usually not translated into Arabic, although their meanings are implied in the sentence. You see, because you can't say the street dirty. You don't have to say at the end of the it reads the street dirty, right? But for us to understand it in the English language, we now will add is in there, and I'm sure the students are well aware, of that explanation that I'm trying to give, to us or to explain every week, inshallah. So therefore we can see, but as importantly, before we go on, you must realize that a masculine noun, and therefore wasikhun, telling you about the street, was, for example, a feminine word. If you look at number 2, can we see there? What is this? The internet is unstable. The al-ghurfatu nadhifatun. Can you see there? Therefore, nadhifatun now becomes a feminine. See there? Because we have al-ghurfatun is feminine and nadhifatun is feminine. Had it, for example, been that this word al-ghurfa was a masculine, then it would have been nadhifun. Can we say that why? Because then it would have been masculine as well. Inshallah, I just need to explain, and get us to understand that, inshallah. Okay, fine. So, inshallah, can we just maybe read with me if we go to the next one? Al-mudarrisu ghaniyun. Okay, everybody?
Al-mudarrisu ghaniyun.
Okay? Al-mudarrisu ghaniyun. See the al-mudarrisu because of the format there, and obviously, and you must just note now, because you can a couple of times, we will find that soon as those two, the first one here, the noun, and the second word following the noun is not the same as it in format, then automatically you have a nominal sentence. If it is the same as it in format, then automatically it becomes an adjectival phrase. Okay? Any question? Everybody comfortable with that? Right. So now when we look at the fourth one, at-talibu faqirun, meaning the student is poor. At-talibu faqirun. Right? The student is poor. And then the last one is a nice word here. Al-muhasibu bakhilun. The accountant. The accountant is bakhilun is stingy. Muhasibun, hisab. See, hisab is the verb that comes across them. Hisab means to take account.
Count.
When we read in the Quran or, or the word that is common is to say that, yes, hisab is going to be held with you, mean accountability. You will be accountable for something. Therefore, the person who does the accounting, the accountability, that is referred to as, we would say, the muhasab. Muhasabu. Al-muhasabu, meaning the accountant, and bakhilun, he is stingy. Therefore, we can see muha is always obviously a masculine word. Now, if you're going to say it's a feminine accountant, then you will say
Muhasibatu. Bakhilatun. Al-muhasibatu. Bakhalatun. Bakhalatun.
Al-mukhasibatu. Bakhilatun. Beautiful, no? Inshallah, as I say, let us not lose track of the formations of our sentences, because we should know by now. We should be, therefore I said when I started the class, for those who maybe joined a bit later, sorry for the inconvenience, you'll find there that by now the students must be able to detect that, because we, as you can see, we started with lesson number 12 already, and therefore it is like, these are all the things that we had covered. So it's gonna, be important for us to get an understanding and make a little bit of time to sit with that, inshallah. Obviously, here we have kalimatun jadidatun, meaning new vocabulary again. See there, sa'batun is difficult. Sa'bun. Obviously, and if you're going to make it feminine, it will be
Sa'batun.
Sa'batun. See there, that comes in the form of an adjective, and as we see here, it can also in turn become, as we would say, a predicate, right? And there we have the opposite of is sahlun. See there? Sahlun. So sa'batun is difficult, or sa'bun is difficult, and sahlun is easy. And obviously we're going to make that feminine, it will be
Sahlatun.
Sahlatun. Okay? And here we have the opposite again, ghaniyun. Always people are saying Allah, wallahu ghaniyun. Alameen. Wallahu ghaniyun. Verily, He Allah, He is all rich, meaning He possesses everything, that man or whatever can, meaning He's all rich, ghaniyun, and a poor person is called a faqirun. 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 What did you say? Faqirun. Faqirun. Right. Then we have dirty, wasikhun. Wasikhun. Just to ask, can anybody tell me what wasikhun? Wasikhun, not wasikhun. Because remember, wasikhun is wide. Wasikhun. And therefore,
Wasi'un is wide.
Yeah, wasi'un. Yeah. So here we say wasikhun. So you must say the waw, like, for the atkhayr. It must be very quick, wasikhun. Can anybody tell me what's the opposite of wasikhun?
Clean.
There we are.
Nadhifatun. Nadhifatun. Nadhifatun.
Nadifatun.
Right. And there we have another comparison here, where we say here, we have stingy is bakhilun. Bakhilun. No, bakhili. Oh, bakhilun. Okay. And then we have a river,
Nahrun.
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 Welcome.
نهر
Nahrun.
Nahrun.
نهر
We use this word a lot. Allah Ta'ala refers to this word a lot when Allah Ta'ala speaks about the Jannah. You know? Allati tajri
Min tahtihal anharun.
See that word
Anharun. Haru. Rivers.
Anharun now. Nahrun is a river.
River.
The plural of river.
Nah.
Anharun.
An-nahar.
Anharun, yeah. Anharun. So that is the plural of river. I'm just making a, but you can see if you look at that word Anharun, you see there's a nun there, there's a ha in there, and there's a ra in there. See, but when we refer to the plural, we add certain words, certain letters to bring about the, I would say, the plural. Okay. Here's also another word that I would also like us to take note of. Inactive. We did active. Remember, we did active. Nashitatun, right? Or nashitun, right? But here, khamilun. I'm sure we heard this word already. Khamilun and hamilun.
Hamilun is to carry.
Hamilun is to carry. So if you say the lady is khamil,
it is inactive.
And it should actually be hamil, that comes away and it becomes a ha.
The ha.
How important it is in Arabic to actually do the proper pronunciation. So hamilun is to carry means it's ha. And to if you say khamilun, then it's inactive, it means completely different. As you had mentioned to us, accountant is muhasibun. Muhasibun. And then a village is a qaryatun. Qaryatun. Qaryatun is a village. Okay, we don't mention villages much, but it's normally, I think, for us, it's most what we refer to as a
countryside thingy.
Countryside or a suburb or something like that. No? Okay, fine. Here's some exercises for us, inshallah. Is there, before we go on to just touching on some of the exercises, I just want to check my time quickly. 9:03, we have half an hour, which is ample for us to do the lesson number 13. I just want to know, before I continue with the class, inshallah, are we all comfortable? Nominal sentence. Is there any questions that we have? Anything that we may be a bit uneasy about? Because as I say, this the use where we find that the three different phases that we go through when we look at the adjective. Because what can I do the structure of the nominal sentence? You will find that you might be able to get, or you might get a noun, and then you have a noun that's being qualified by an adjective, and then thereafter you will find, you would say the predicate. You see, it might be, for example, I'm just going to use an example. You might say, I'll just so that I can just. I'm just want to take it a little bit further, because why I'm saying it's so important for us to eyes this. If we say ashari'u, right, the street. So we say ashari'ul wasikhu, right? Ashari'ul wasikhu. Remember, then we say the dirty street.
The dirty street.
Right? When they agree both on the same. But then if I now put a predicate on there, then I can say, what about the then I say
Shari'u wasikhu. Wasikhun.
Is white. It is Ashari'u. Sorry, wasikhun.
Wasikhun. 30.
Ashari'ul wasikhu.
Imam? Hello?
30.
Are you there? We lost,
Noun here, right? Or
we lost you for a few seconds there, Imam.
Mabi Yusuf?
I said we lost you for a few seconds there, about 10 seconds.
Sorry. Let us go again. Yeah. Okay. What I'm trying to explain here is, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Ek dink die imam se volume is 'n bietjie te hoog seker.
Sorry?
Dan bring jou dit op maar. Kan nie lekker hoor nie.
Kan ek gewoon nie.
En
Okay.
die channel
As
is
my
daar.
volume te hoog.
So bly vir my so ja.
Okay, fine. Let ek sê ek sien ek het gekry twee dinge is hier about die internet whatever it is. But
Yeah.
anyway, I'll try. Wow, wasikhun, right? Can you hear me on that one?
Breaking up.
Can you hear me?
It's breaking up, Imam.
Is it?
It's breaking up. You only hear the last part.
And now, okay, I'll try again. Ash-shari'u wasikhun. Can you hear me now?
Better.
Better, okay. Now, ash-shari'u, right? Ash-shari'u wasikhun, that is the nominal sentence, right? Reason being is because the one is definite and the other one is indefinite. But now if I put if I, for example, change the word wasikhu to read al-wasikhu, right? So if I say ash-shari'ul wasikhu, then it means the dirty.
33
But
street.
now I'm going to add something on here. Then I say wasi'un means wide. So then it will read, because I won't say al-wasi'u, I'll just say wasi'un. So I say
The
ash-shari'u.
street is wide.
Yeah, I say the dirty street is wide.
No.
See that?
Oh. Oh.
The dirty street.
Oh.
Wasi-
Oh.
Wow, wasikhu, the dirty street. Wasikhun. See there? So that is, I'm trying to explain to us that soon as we
Yeah.
find that the second word here is on the same pattern as the first word here with the al,
Mubtada
then
and
you
khabar.
automatically know that
Mawsuf sifa.
the Mawsuf sifa, yeah, it's the sifa for that Mawsuf there, inshallah. Okay,
Adjective.
but inshallah we're going to come to that again. I just wanted to tell us, to also take note of that, and it was important that, that you must observe these things, because as Waleed's question last week was very, very important, with regards to things like that. I don't want us to, at the particular lesson, because as you can see, we're doing a straightforward discussion, and eventually it's going to go deeper and deeper, inshallah. Okay, so let us now look at exercise number 12 there, inshallah. I think this we can all do. We should do this, should be able to do this, to translate from English into Arabic, as you can see there, the rector is generous, so automatically there you can see it's a sentence. So the rector, obviously meaning, there,
Mudi.
definite, and there is Karimun, will obviously be indefinite, right? And the university Al-Jami'atu, the university,
Nadifatu. Nadifatun.
Nadifatun.
Natun.
Yeah, because
Clean.
Nadifatun.
Feminine.
definitely. So what I'll do, yeah, that's it. Yeah. So what I'll do is, inshallah, I will move on. If everybody's comfortable, is everybody comfortable? Anybody needs some more explanation? Because all these, if you look at all these examples here, you'll find it is straightforward as to what we have done. They see that, they tell you, for example, number 4, as they say to you, change the following adjectival phrases into nominal sentences. As you can see there here, what they do is they give you both being the same. So your last part, the al must just fall away. See there? And it gets, for example, al-waladul ghaniyu, that is a definite phrase. So if you want to make it a sentence, you say al-waladul
Ghaniyun.
ghaniyun. Then the al falls away there as well. Okay? Can I just get feedback from us? If everybody comfortable with that, so we can maybe go over to lesson number 13 after this one.
Hello, how are you? Hello. My birthday today.
Hello?
Are you here?
Okay, fine. Yusuf, is anybody,
Yes,
can I move further on to the next lesson now?
Yes, Imam.
Okay, fine. And how's the sound now better, Yusuf?
Alhamdulillah.
Okay, fine. Okay, I'm going to lesson number 13 now. Okay? Now we're going a little bit further. Okay, and this is going to become interesting, very interesting. Okay? Very, very interesting. We're referring here to the interrogative particles. These are interrogative particles referred to when we are asking questions. Okay? So we made a sentence. So what we're going to have now, we're going to have a question. You know, as we had said, we're going to have a su'al, right? A question. And we're going to have a jawab. Remember, an answer. Okay? And that is important. You see here, interrogative particles, man and ma. Okay? Idawatu, man and ma. Okay? Man and ma. Man, the Arabic word, and ma. So with this refers to interrogative particles are used for asking questions. So there are a few particles or interrogative particles or words that you're going to use when you ask questions. We're starting with the first one now. They will see there we have, for example, man means who and ma means what. Okay? Those are two words that you add to something. Now, if we look at the first one here, okay? You say the as-su'alu wal jawabu. Remember, remember the su'al was the question and al-jawabu is the answer, right? So you're going to have a question. So put the question mark there. See, they also put the question mark there. So here you will now ask the question. You say man. You know what is hada. Hada is this. See there? But now when you're going to ask the question, see the internet is unstable. What's going on here? Okay. Man hada, right? So hada is for masculine, right? Therefore you can see they put the M there, masculine. And feminine, they put the F. So say man hada, who is this? Very, very important. And then the answer, you will answer, hada Sami. Sami is a name. Sami. Okay? Now you can then, for example, ask your what. And this is important. I need to mention this to us. The word man means who. And therefore the word man will only be used on persons. Kanala, don't ask a question, you know, when you refer to them, they say, ma hadha. Because then you say, what is the, or what is this? You know, imagine you're going to, sometimes, people insult one another, then, then they use the word ma. Also what is the, but it's actually, whenever you refer to a person, you will use the word man. Whenever you refer to an article or an object, you will refer to what. No? Okay? I think that is also proper manner in which to address it. So in Arabic, it's exactly the same. So when you use the word man hada, who is this? And then you will say hada Sami. Can you see? That's a proper sentence. Or you might ask man dhalika. It's not on here, but dhalika was another word. No, man dhalika. Who is that? Remember. So if you refer to a man, you will say man hada. If you refer to a female, you will say man hadihi. Okay? Everybody comfortable with that?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, can hear you.
Right. So man hada, that is for males. Then you would answer, this is the proper way to answer. If they say man hada, then you can't say Sami. It was not a proper way of addressing you. But they respond in a proper sentence and you say hada Sami or Sami, right? That's a name. So you can say there again, man huwa, or who is he? See there? Now they're using all the pronouns that we are familiar with. Remember, huwa. Who is he? Huwa Muhammadun. Okay? You'll see all the male names. I will give that to us, from my other Arabic book. Inshallah, I've got a book here that I'm prepared already, or it's a book that we use that I'm going to forward to us, in pages and so much, so that you can in turn do your, that's going to be your exams, inshallah, as it's important for us to also value, or evaluate what we have actually, learned, but it's very, very interesting. And you'll see here, Muhammadun, see there, Muhammadun, Aliyun, Rashidun, all the male names, always ends, or not always, but majority. So when you see a word, a name, this is something that I can maybe share with us. When you see the name of a male, and you find it ends with a, a tanween, then you know that is a name from Arab origin, okay, or Arabic origin. So when you find, for example, that it doesn't end with a tanween, then obviously it is from some other, you know, nation or whatever. For example, sometimes you have Persian names, you know, and so much, you know, Persian names or whatever other national, but an Arabic name always ends with a un, okay? Right. So huwa Muhammadun, then you would say obviously huwa Muhammadun. No? Man huwa Muhammadun. Same here. Man hadihi wife, hadihi Salwa. Right? Hadihi, as you can see, obviously again the whole same format. Hada for masculine, hadihi for feminine, huwa for masculine, and hiya, who, say, man hiya, who is she? Hiya mumtazatun, or huwa mumtazun, or mumtazatun, or mumtaza. Okay, so that is also, you can see there, that is the, she is mumtaza, meaning she is excellent, or name also for a person's name. See, but as you can see, all these pronouns we have already done, and you add in man. As you can see here, man, you add in meaning who when you refer to a person, and obviously we can see here ma hada, what is this, masculine, hada dukanun, meaning this is a shop. See there, you can't say man hada, who is this is a shop. You obviously say ma hada, what is this, and there we can see there hada dukanun, this is a shop. The next one, ma hadihi, what is this when you refer to something feminine? Hadihi hafilatun. Okay, hadihi hafilatun. Right on. Further down. Now we see the explanation. The interrogative pronoun man, a particle maf, man, who refers to persons only. In the first group of examples, the question is asked about the name of a person. The answer is given in the form of a nominal sentence. Can you see there? The form of a nominal sentence. The subject is this. Is Sharona, Ismun Ishara. This, we did that already. The demonstrative pronoun. Don't worry about all these terms here. Just for us to understand the proper formation of it, right? And the predicates are Sami and Muhammad, meaning, that is the, when it explains to us, what the noun or what is referred to about the noun. The interrogative particle ma, as you can see there, is used in the second group, refers to things only. The answer is also in the form of a, jumlatul ismiya, meaning a sentence, and the subject hada, this, as the word dukanun, meaning it's the, as we say, dukanun is a shop, as its predicate, which is indefinite. Important, this is a shop, right? This is shop dukanun. Look at that formation of that word there, because which will then have the hidden verb, which is in there. Okay, righto. Some examples for us again. Man hada, who is this? Hada ihsanun. You can change it to your name, or you can maybe, for example, teach your spouse or your partner or your friend or whoever that's assisting you with this, start, here we can see we can have a conversation here as we throw things around, and that is how you can also familiarize yourself with your certain words. For example, in the room, you might say, mahada, I know, and if you refer to a person, manada, or you can take it a bit further, dhalika or tilka, which is not in this exercises here of, this formation here, as we can see, but importantly, man, you remember, is used for a person, and ma is used for a feminine. See there, man huwa, who is he? Huwa aliyun. Say there, Ali, aliyun. Say Ali is spelled like that, aliyun. Okay, so as I can see there, aliyun is a Arabic name, right? Man hadihi, who is this? So soon as you get the pronoun which indicate feminineness or masculine, then you obviously know it is referring to a feminine. Man hadihi, hadihi Rashid,
Rashida.
hadihi Rashida. You know, or Rashida. Also was Rashida, then you take that un away. But when you write the person's name, remember was as we like, Brother Jarisa's question that time was already, remember when they converse in Arabic, then they change the last word or the last word to a sukun, right? So therefore, if you are gonna say Rashid Dunde at the back and you're not gonna add, then you would, if you then converse, you would say Hadihi Rashid. See that? Hadihi Rashid. Because you won't pronounce a sound on the dal because you will make it a sukun. So in this particular case, your sukun comes on the ta, which becomes a ha, as you know, when you make waqaf on a ta marbuta. So it will be hadihi Rashida, right? So that is why it reads like that, but it's spelled like that. And that is where you indicate, referring to a feminine. So similarly, when it comes to a feminine name and it takes a ta marbuta, that is the formation there. Then man here, who is she? Here, Khadija too. See that? Huwa Khadija too. So Khadija, you don't say Khadija tun, it's Huwa Khadija too. Okay? Huwa Khadija too. And you find this is mostly in the case where you don't find a male name similar to that. Rashid and Rashida, there you find, there's one is masculine, one is feminine. In this, you don't get a male, Khadij, of Khadijun. You don't get a male like that. There's not a name of a male, But the word Khadija or Khadijatun is the name of a feminine, right? Mahada, what is this? Automatically you refer there to Hada being something which is masculine. Hada fundukun, meaning this is a hotel. This is a hotel. Hada fundukun. Remember, Kanala, as we will always see, all the last words that we are referring to here, last words that we're referring to, can you see, they're all here, they all take marbutas. They all take marbuta, especially when it comes to particles or articles, because as we know, through this, it now becomes, like we would say, it becomes a jumlatul ismiyya, it becomes a nominal sentence because all your answers is going to sentences here. And then ma hadihi, what is this? Hadihi jaziratun. This is an island. This is an island, jazira. Okay? And I think that is the end of that lesson. I think, yeah. Okay. Then, here's something new that we're learning on, inshallah. This is a new word that you're going to learn on here. Ma mihnatuka. Mihnatun is profession. See that? Ma mihnatuka. What is your profession? Mihnatuka. So this is also, many times when we meet one another, we say, how are you? Kaifa haluka? Kaifa haluki? Kaifa halukum? How are you? Then you can, if you want to take the conversation first, and you say, ma, what is mihnatuka? Female, ma mihnatuki? Ma mihnatukum? What is, ka, ki? We've done that too. Kum we didn't do yet, but just to give us an understanding, the word mihnatu means profession. Okay, what is your profession? Or we are fond to when we have conversation. What do you do? See, in Arabic, obviously we refer to the proper word. This is mihnatuk, or mihnatu, meaning what is your profession? And obviously, if I ask your profession, if you want to say what is his profession, ma mihnatuhu. What is her profession? Ma mihnatuha. So we can actually, inshallah, build that conversation. But here we can see the mihnatu, or the mihnatu, it is important, mihnatun, meaning a profession that is important for us. So ma mihnatuka, what is your profession? Then you can say ana. See, ana. We did that one already. Ana halaqun. I am a barber. So if you are a what we call it, an accountant, then you say ana. What's that again?
Hasibatun.
Ana.
Hasibatun.
Naam. Okay.
Muhasibun.
But you know,
Muhasibun. Muhasibun.
وأنا محاسبة, right? أنا محاسبة. I am an accountant, a male accountant, obviously, or أنا محاسبة. I am a female accountant, and so we can in actual fact, that is what you and you know, can maybe investigate or research about what is my profession called. You know, your profession that you are in. Find out what that is in Arabic, and so you can actually make a conversation in this. أنا خلاقة means a female barber, you know, and obviously as well, obviously, you know, the ana or the you know, or nahnu, we didn't do that yet, but that will obviously indicate, you know, person to us, right? And then the next one, ma mihnatuki, see that female, ma mihnatuki, what is your profession? Ana khabbazatun, I am a baker, meaning I am a female baker. See that? And if it was for a male, ma mihnatuka, what is your profession? And it was a baker, ana khabbazun. See that? Khabbazun. Remember, as I said to us, your answer will always take a dhamma. And that is how you will formulate your sentences, inshallah. Alhamdulillah, we have reached the end here. Just to do the last few words, inshallah, and I think we should be able to close in the next couple of minutes, you know, after, you know, just confirming our state with understanding. Here's a few new vocabularies that we can add on, inshallah. Okay, fine. There, translator, mutarjimun, you know, mutarjimun for a male, mutarjimatun for a female, you know, okay, and there we can say also tarjim means to translate. Translate, you know, when you to translate from one language into the other one, you know. Okay. Then we look at the barber. Barber, as we had just done now, is a khallaqun, a male, and khallaqatun for a female. A carpenter, obviously mostly males, but alhamdulillah, today you find, you know, females are also, you know, they can do everything. So they can be a female carpenter as well, but mainly for males. Najjarun, see there? Najjarun, a carpenter.
Sheikh Najjar.
So that is how you will remember. Alhamdulillah, that is how I will remember now. You know, until older, that is how I also remembered, you know, that particular word, you know, carpenter. See there? Najjarun. And for the people traveling a lot, fundukun. You know, you're going to a hotel. Funduk this or funduk that, you know. Fundukun is a hotel, you know. So fundukun. So these are things. Therefore I say these are all words that you should be able, or you will be able to just put together, puzzle it together with something that you are familiar with, as I said, you know. And inshallah, you'll see if you put your mind to it and you say to yourself, listen here, I'm now, you know, I'm traveled quite a long distance with this lessons already, lesson number 13. I need to now, you know, put myself in order and get, you know, to actually start from a certain point where I start remembering things or put things in order, inshallah. You will see it won't take us long, you know, to actually put things in proper perspective, inshallah. And then there, shaqqatun is an apartment. Ghurfatun, shaqqatun, you know. We'll see, you know, especially when you travel and you go to Arab states, whatever, you'll see they use various forms here, you know. Shaqqatun, a driver, sa'iqun, you know. Sa'iqun, a shop, dukanun. Remember we did suqun is a market, and a shop is a dukanun, you know. There's, you know, we'll see that also we find a lot sukanun and sudukanun, right? An island, jaziratun, and then a key, miftahun. Miftahun is a key.
Fatiha. Surah Fatiha.
Miftahu. Fataha.
To open. Fataha.
Jaridatun is in newspaper. Jaridatun. Jaridatun. So inshallah, I will leave us with that. Inshallah. Alhamdulillah. This, you know, because we half an hour over our time already. But inshallah, before I conclude, is there any questions? I know this one was a bit of a of a rushing one for us, but you know, the class is well capable of handling all this. I don't see it as a problem actually for us. So I just hope, inshallah, you know, that you know, the recording, and I'm just a bit concerned that you know, when somebody mentioned that there was a bit of breaking in the transmission with regards to, you know, the sound that we feel, but I hope it's going to be in a good condition. But Yusuf normally makes magic when it comes to those stuff, so we haven't got a problem with that. You know, he will sort that out for us, inshallah. Alhamdulillah, inshallah. I think I'm comfortable, as I said, with the presentation of the lesson. I just need to get feedback just from the class to find out, are we all comfortable the way, you know, or I would say in the lessons so far. It is like, I think it is something which just puzzles into, you know, the ones that we had done before. And I think we can just put our minds to it, and then there shouldn't be a problem, inshallah. Is there any questions? Any questions that we want to maybe just raise, or questions that we need to, that we're a bit uncomfortable with, you know, with regards to the lesson? Anybody? Anybody? Are we all comfortable with the lessons
Alhamdulillah.
for this evening?
Yes, Imam.
Everybody comfortable?
Alhamdulillah.
Inshallah. So, you know, if you need to, you know, you can just maybe unmute yourself, inshallah, if you want to, inshallah. And also welcome to Dr. Farhan. Alhamdulillah, Doc. Nice having you on the class, inshallah, you know. Inshallah, may Allah make it easy also for all of us, inshallah, to get some hold on it, inshallah. But what we can do is, inshallah, we will obviously refer back to the notes or to the recording, inshallah, that Yusuf will put available to us, maybe if not this evening, maybe tomorrow. And then, inshallah, we will, you know, we can maybe just refresh on there, and we take it further from there. Any questions, you know, as we know, we will be able to assist with that. Try, you know, on the homework, you know, in your textbooks, those of us who have their textbooks already. As I say, I've still got 4 textbooks here with me, you know, 3 to be collected and 1 is available for anybody who maybe, you know, needs it. Then, you know, you can go through the homework, you know, especially on this particular lesson, and we can take it further from there, inshallah. Okay, shukran once again, you know, for our time, and inshallah, have a good night's rest. Inshallah, we hope next week we won't have any problems, you know, with regards to load shedding, you know, I hope so, you know, so we make dua also, inshallah, Allah Ta'ala must make things easy for us, inshallah. And then also a lady from Kailsriver was very close to us, Auntie Faldila Dolly. She passed on this week, you know, she was, you know, an elderly lady, but a very, very, I would say a lady that was well loved by everybody. She was always, you know, when many people referred, you know, to her, especially her involvement with the Jama'ah of Kailsriver, she was also one of the people who welcomed me when I joined the Jama'ah. And alhamdulillah, most people make a reference to her, you know, as her making everybody comfortable and welcoming him in to the Jama'ah. Alhamdulillah, may Allah Ta'ala grant the high abode in Jannah, inshallah. May Allah Ta'ala, her legacy, you know, that she had left behind. May Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, inshallah, rewarded dearly, and also may all those who followed, you know, the footsteps, inshallah. Allah Ta'ala grant them all success, you know, in the manner in which she used to conduct her life, inshallah. May Allah also to a life of khair and barakah and consciousness of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, inshallah, you know. Sallallahu wa sallam alayhi. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.
Shukran.
Shukran, Imam. Assalamu alaikum.
And